Everyone talks about your morning routine like it's the secret to weight loss. But your 5 a.m. miracle morning doesn't help if your 5 p.m. habits keep wrecking it. Having coached over 1,000 clients, I can tell you this. The 5 to 9 p.m. is what really separates the people who succeed versus those who are stuck in endless yo-yo dieting. Because it doesn't just ruin your nights, it ruins your mornings too. You stay up too late, sleep through your workout, and start tomorrow even worse. Then you go to bed again, knowing it wasn't what you wanted, but not really knowing why it keeps happening. For many years, I thought I had a discipline problem, but I just had a 5 p.m. problem, set off by 5 triggers. Once I learned how to sidestep them, it created a path to a new reality where nights actually lock in my progress. And even better, the alternate path has 5 habits that diffuse each of these landmines, starting with the first one. Avoiding this can make or break your success, and it occurs between the critical window between work and home. By 5 p.m., I used to be a pressure cooker with no release valve. All day, I'd been holding it together, biting my tongue in meetings, juggling fires, swallowing stress. And the second I walked through the door, it all came spilling out, either into the pantry or into forcing myself to be good. When every cell in my body was screaming for relief. Your post-work crash isn't the problem. Pretending you don't need a break is. This is your mandatory transition activity, but here's the catch. Doing it right matters. It has to fulfill 2 criteria or you'll still end up raiding the pantry later. First, it needs to give you a mental exhale. Think of breathing. You can't take another breath without exhaling first. In the same way, you need a way to get the day out of your head. Take 5 minutes to vent. Rant into a journal, chat GPT, or call someone who can listen without trying to fix it. Spill it all, no censoring. When my client Lisa tried this, she said,
"Oh my God, the journaling helps. It helps so much. Some days I would sit and just type it out or like rant it out. Other days I would just find my husband and rant for 30 minutes.
Second, you need a physical exhale. Shift your body state so it matches the relief you want in your mind. How you do it depends on your unique needs. Here's what helped Lisa.
I never saw myself as somebody who does cardio because I've been huge most of my life, like twice my current weight and more. But what I didn't know is I'm a runner. You recommended this. The transition activities: make yourself a warm cup of tea because what you want is comfort, you don't want food. So warm cup of tea, run because you feel like you've got all this mental stress, but your physical state hasn't changed much. So now when I'm stressed, I either go for a walk or a run instead of eating. It's brilliant.
But I'll make it easy for you. Start with just moving for 5 minutes any way you like. Walk, run, shadow box, or dance party in your room. But what if you're bored afterward and find yourself nibbling food anyway? Happens to 90% of us. I'd do my transition activities and start prepping dinner. I'd grab shredded cheese, then eat half the bag while chopping veggies. I thought this meant I had no self-control. But here's the deal. After an exhausting day, your mouth just wants something to do. So give it a job. If you don't give it a job, it's going to apply for the fridge taste tester position. 2 ways to put it to work. First, I choose sugar-free gum while I prep dinner. It short-circuits the grazing reflex. No gum? No problem. Even pretend chewing may reduce boredom snacking. When I figured this out, I started stashing gum everywhere. Inside the fridge, in the silverware drawer. By the time dinner is ready, my mouth's been happily employed and my appetite's ready for a real meal. One that will keep me satisfied so I don't end up here again. But you know that feeling when you've just finished dinner but somehow demolish an ice cream tub later anyway? That's your satiety code being broken. And if you don't crack it, no amount of discipline will save you. Most of us know to eat more protein and veggies to feel more satiated. But what you might not know is satiety isn't just science, it's personal. One of my clients, Jen, was a perfect example. Some weeks, she was fine after dinner. Other weeks, she was raiding the pantry like she hadn't eaten in a day. Same calories and macros. What's going on? When we dug into her food logs, we saw the main difference was in how she cooked her eggs. Scrambled eggs, she was full for hours. Sunny side up or hard boiled, still hungry 30 minutes later. Mystery cracked, literally. So how do you figure out your personal protein? Here's a 3-step cheat code. Start with 20 grams, about a palm-sized portion of any protein you like. Test one version, chicken, fish, tofu, whatever's easiest. Not satisfied? Swap the cooking method or protein type and try again. If you need ideas, I've linked a protein cheat sheet below with the most popular proteins my clients swear by. Stop eating what's supposed to work. Start noticing what actually works for your satiety code. Drop your biggest struggle in the comments. I'll randomly pick 5 questions and personally answer them. Okay, Richa, I hear you saying. Eggs are nice and all, but I need my chocolate and wine. Of course you do. In fact, you must. Because without this next piece, your brain will keep dragging you back to the kitchen, no matter how healthy your dinner was. I used to spend my whole evening negotiating with myself. Nah, I don't need dessert. Okay, maybe just one cookie. Maybe some chips. Maybe a soda. By the end of the night, I'd nibbled 5 to 6 random things totaling over 560 calories and still didn't feel satisfied. Why? Because I didn't let myself really enjoy the treats. And guess what? If your brain doesn't notice it, it doesn't count. It continues feeling deprived, keeps nagging you for more. And that constant mental tug of war is exhausting, leading to more cravings. Whereas a little satisfaction, on purpose, actually preserves energy. There are 2 things you must do. Step 1, pre-select your treat. Do it before dinner so you don't waste mental energy negotiating with yourself later. I stick to about 200 calories, enough to actually feel indulgent without blowing the budget. Step 2, and this is vital, make it an experience. Plate it well. Sit down. No screens, no multitasking. In fact, I turn my phone off during dinner. You heard me. Your precious pocket-sized distraction machine can wait. Then savor every bite. Once I did just these 2 things, I felt better and didn't need more because I actually enjoyed it. So stop sprinkling crumbs of half-baked pleasure all night long. Feed your brain once and do it right. But that's just during dinner, because after dinner, that little machine, that's when it goes from handy tool to progress assassin. When your brain keeps chasing dopamine, it's only a matter of time before it chases snacks too. So instead of fighting your phone, outsmart it. 2 things must happen to make this work. Step 1, tombstone your phone. Make it lock you out of your addictive apps at a set time, with a twist. Don't tell your brain it's forever. Say instead, if I still really need it in 15 minutes, I'll get it. That little loophole shuts down the rebellion and buys you enough space to choose a different path. Most nights, I don't even remember to go back. Both iPhone and Android make this dead simple. On iPhone, it's called screen time. On Android, it's digital well-being. But just tombstoning your phone isn't enough. You also need to replace it with something you can literally take to bed that makes you unavailable for food. For me, it's a fiction book right where my phone would be. If reading's not your thing, try journaling, sketchpad doodling, or listening to music. The moment you're horizontal, relaxed, and letting your mind drift, you're off the market for snacks. And when you stop feeding your brain an endless buffet of novelty, over time, it finally stops nagging you for more. But how can you root cause and identify your landmines, not just for evenings, but every moment where you go off track? Crazy work weeks, vacations, or longer periods of burnout? You can do it in 2 ways. 1, if you want my help, shortcutting through all the trial and error to nailing just the 1 to 2 changes to long-term weight loss, then learn about my weight loss program in the description and comments below. Or if you want to DIY it, then you don't want to ignore this video where I teach you the 1-minute habits that make staying on track automatic all day long. Because once you have your evenings locked in, getting your mornings locked in is the next mission critical step. So you don't want to miss the complete step-by-step breakdown here. And always remember, you can do it.